I'm sorry you can't see all the cards. I'll hold them up. You've got the Judgment card. So something is actually a conclusion, a resolution has been made, has been set. So whether that's coming from you, this is your current situation, what we're talking about. So generally, the energies are saying, you've made up your mind about a situation, or something's made up their mind about you. And it could be a work situation or a relationship, but a judgment call has been made. And that just means, okay, a standard or a line in the sand has been drawn, or a standard's been set for a lot of you Geminis. But why is that? The reason why that is, well, this is your card, the Lovers, the Geminis. This is your season. And I feel like, how people say, okay, well, January 1st is the beginning of a new year. No, I believe that this is the beginning of your year. This is the beginning of your new year. And so you're starting to look in the future in terms of, where do I want to be a year from now? How do I want this year, my Geminian year to be? And you're starting to make judgment calls for yourself. Okay, no, I don't want this. I want this. I do want this. I don't want that. I think that some of you are actually in a soulmate or a twin flame partnership. You're with the person you're supposed to be with if you are in a committed relationship. And I think that there's a feeling of vulnerability between you two, and it's a very harmonious union with you and this person. And the universe supports that. If you are in a harmonious relationship, obviously the universe supports that. And that's what we're seeing so far in this reading. Why is that? Okay, well, it looks like everything, it's like, if it's not one thing, it's another, Gemini. So I think that, okay, look, you are in a relationship with someone. Things are going okay. You like this person a lot, but there's a feeling of insecurity in straight up finances. And I think that in order for this relationship to work, somebody has to show a greater interest in working towards this relationship or working towards this investment. I think the King of Pentacles in reverse is saying that somebody you're dealing with could be an earth sign, could be a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, but let's not do signs too much, but whatever, fuck it. People love the signs, so let's just do the signs. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, somebody is either showing a level of disinterest in the relationship right now, and that's tripping you up. Or you're like, hey, this needs to change. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll change. And they're not changing. And so this King of Pentacles is here to remind you that you could be in what feels like a harmonious relationship, but somebody is just not budging in terms of what they want to do for you. Or you're not budging for this person in terms of, okay, look, let's do this. Let's move in, to my parents' house and save money for a year. And somebody's like, no, I'm not doing that. And you're like, well, this is a smart move. And so there's a little bit of feet dragging in this scenario. For some of you, not all of you, this is general. So why is the King of Pentacles in reverse here? Well, we're going to look at the situation, the environment. The environment is the Nine of Wands. And so I think that what's happening is there is a vital step in contemplation. And it's next to the Judgment card. So I think that either you or the person you're dealing with is actually refusing to make a step forward, or maybe they have made a decision and they're like, okay, now I actually have to make a move. You've been through the ringer at this point. You've already had your conversations. You've already done everything you could possibly do in terms of taking the right actions and making a situation better for you or a loved one or your relationship or your working environment. And you feel like you've done everything, and now you're like completely worn out. You're exhausted. You're over it. You're like, I don't know what else I can do, but I think I'm going to do this. So you're about to make a move, I feel. And you've been up all night thinking about it too. You're about to make a move. I'm physically over it. Like I've never seen, I feel this way about you guys right now. Somebody is absolutely physically over it and now mentally over it. You're losing sleep at night. You can't sleep. You might be hitting the bottle or just having to smoke a bit of weed to fall asleep or whatever you do to calm your nerves because you have anxiety. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, fuck, I still have to make this decision. I still have to pull a trigger about something. I know what I want to do. I can't seem to do it. This is what I need to do. And when Geminis are obviously, right, we know Geminis to be moody. And so when, and not in a bad way, so don't take offense. When you guys get into your moods, your dark moods, it's it's never been a more Jekyll and Hyde sensation, because when you guys are in a great mood, oh my God, like who doesn't want to be around you guys? But when you guys are in your foul moods, and I mean foul in terms of actual depression, anxiety, sadness, losing sleep, feeling anxious about like things that you know you have to do, that is such a bummer, and it brings everyone around you down. And right next to the Lovers, obviously it's bringing yourself down. You recognize that, and it could be bringing your partner down or people that you work with down. So yeah, the 5 means there's going to be definite strategy. I think, yeah, obviously you have conflicting ideas. You're bummed out about a situation. You need to make a move. You need to plan ahead. And that's what you're doing. I think in June, you are beginning to actually say, okay, I've made my decision. I have to make a move on this decision. I'm so miserable in a situation right now. I need to make a move. So here's my plan. Here's my plan. And the 5 is a strategizing situation. And so you're going to have to, you're a smart cookie. Geminis are smart. And so you're one of the most cerebral signs of the zodiac. So you're able to sit down and go, all right, everybody be quiet. I need to think. I'm going to go take a walk and I'm going to think. And you just need to be alone and think and strategize. Whatever you're planning to do in June, or what you're thinking about doing right now in the middle of May, is going to cause conflict. Now, it's going to cause conflict if you're in a relationship with a Taurus, or you're working with a Taurus, or not Taurus, any earth sign or someone with earth in their chart. This conflict could be between you two. It's almost like, I'm doing what I need to do, get off my back, and you're trying, so please leave me alone. Or they're trying to, show that it's almost like they want you to show that you're taking action. And you're like, well, what the fuck more do you want me to do? Clang and bang plates? Like, how can I show that I'm taking action? I am taking action is what I'm getting with this energy here. So what are your hopes and fears? So you get this, you got hopes and fears here. What are your hopes and fears? Well, justice. You hope that that everything's going to work out. Now, if some of you are dealing with the legal system, you're hoping, all right, the paperwork, did I dot my I's? Did I cross my T's? Did I file it on time? Like, I know there was a deadline. Did I make that deadline? Like, you're hoping that the paperwork and the logistics of a situation works itself out. And I think that you're very excited because you are worried about a negative turnout for your justice system, or for the justice card here. But I think it's going to be fair and just, and you're going to get what you want. And I think that it's going to be done. Whatever you're doing, right now, by June, it'll be done, and it's going to be in your favor. So if you're quitting a job, if you're walking away from a situation, if you're getting a divorce, whatever your situation is, it's going to be fair and just. Now, even if it doesn't feel like it was fair to you, you need to stop all that stinking thinking, because it probably is fair and just according to the circumstances around you. So don't pout. And don't be upset if you feel like you were done dirty. You weren't done dirty. This is fair. This is fair, what's happening here. And so that's a hope, is that it's fair, and it looks like that's going to be happening for you. Now, why is this here? Well, the High Priestess. So some of you are dealing with, so you've got 2 pillars right here. So there's almost like 2 ways a situation can go, 2 ways of thinking, 2 ways of being. And you get the Lovers doing the same thing, Justice, High Priestess. And I think that, so the High Priestess card is actually a Pisces, because it's High Priestess, the moon, your subconscious. So your deepest fears and thoughts. Sometime in June, you're going to feel an absolute, like a soothing, like, when you go from a hot tub to the pool, and the pool to the hot tub, and you go in the hot tub just so that you can jump in the pool and it's extra cool. That's this. So I feel like you were just dancing around like in this like very anxious energy, because you got justice and judgment here. So this very anxious energy, like what's going to happen? Like if you're making a decision, you know what you're going to do. You got to strategize to do it. Or if you're waiting for a decision, you know that the outcome could be A or B, and you're waiting to get that. You're going to feel a sense of relief and release. And I think the High Priestess is saying now is the time that you're going to be able to recover and sleep. And I know that sounds crazy, like what's sleep got to do with it? You've literally been losing sleep over a situation, okay? You have been in your head running around that maze of that, that galaxy of a mind of yours, and you've been running circles in your own mind for the longest time, trying to separate yourself or detach from a situation just so you can find a sense of security and closure within. And now something's going to happen in June that's going to allow you to relax, relate, release. There is going to be a loss, a financial loss. I think that if you choose to give up a situation, now this situation could be a job or a relationship where you were feeling kind of secure, maybe someone was helping you with bills, there is going to be a sense of loss. I think that some of you guys are dealing with a Taurus. I think that you're going to have a feeling of not betrayal. I just feel like even if you're like, look, that was fair, how it worked out, but it sucks. And that's the feeling here. It is fair what's going to happen to you. But just know that you're going to have an experience of a loss. And so you're going to scramble. You're going to scramble naturally. You're going to be like, okay, well, how am I going to do this? I got to plan it out for May. I've got to plan it out for June and July. And so how am I going to survive this summer? And so if you're going through a divorce, there's going to be a financial loss, but I don't think that it's going to be huge. I think that's going to be a little bit of a loss, or at least a feeling like the comforts of what you knew before are no longer there. And so maybe if you're talking about a job, the comforts of having a 9 to 5 or that steady paycheck, that's going to be gone. Maybe you have to sing for your supper and do something else for a while. Maybe you're taking on 2 different kind of jobs just to pay the rent or whatever you've got to do. So you're not going to be completely down and out, but the comfort and security of what you know right now financially will be gone. What do we know to be true because of this? Yeah, you're confused. I think, you're cutting people out. You're cutting something out of your life that wasn't working for you, but now you're confused as to where do I go now? What do I do now? Okay, so another Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio is going to be there for you. Someone is going to give you the kind of patience and generosity and emotional stability that you need. So if there's someone in your life, a woman or a feminine man who is of a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, let them be there for you because they're going to be there for you. And even if you're not feeling like you can trust them or talk to them or anything, they're going to want to be there for you. So allow them to. This is right next to the High Priestess, and that's, like I said, a Pisces. So I feel the Pisces element strongly here for you. For sure, allow yourself to be vulnerable with this person because they want to be there for you. And you can trust this person, I feel like. I know you don't think you can. You're going to be in a situation where you don't feel like you can trust anybody. You can trust this Pisces person. There's going to be a bit of competition. You're going to be defending yourself. You're going to be defending yourself. 7 is it's a time where you can reconnect with spirit and you can reconnect with sort of the feelings that maybe you lost in this melee here. Now, if this is a love relationship, you're vying for the attention of a water sign. You're trying to get the attention of them, but they have a lot of people in line for them right now. And you're kind of like, do I even want to bother with this? Like you're confused. This Pisces could be, you could feel as if they're giving you mixed signals. I also see a Libra coming through for you. This is someone who is going to give you food for thought in terms of traditionalism and what you want to do next. If you're looking for another job, you're questioning, I wouldn't say questioning, you're probably going to gravitate towards another steady paycheck, okay? If you're in a relationship, you could be wanting to have like a very traditional coupling. You want the picket fence, you want, the dog or whatever, the kids. You want the whole thing. And the other thing too is I think that you could be dealing with someone who's fair and just, but they also want to provide you with the traditional creature comforts that you once had that you might feel like you lost. Or you're going to be going to church a lot. You're going to be going to any kind of community thing that you're like, every Wednesday I do this. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be every Thursdays at 2, I have this group meeting. So it's a very community feel. Or I have choir practice every, Saturday at 3 p.m. So you're going to be more and more involved with a community thing. And that's where you're going to find your value again, your self-worth. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing. I know I'm all over the place. This is not, I feel like it's love and work. And there's nothing bad here. I think you're going to recover completely, but let's keep going. So why is the Hierophant here? The Hierophant is here because you're going to feel as if you might feel as if you've disappointed yourself. You've disappointed yourself and you might feel like you need to recover, and you will recover. But the way to do that is through confirmation or affirmation from a group or community that you respect and love and feel adored, adored by. And so by reaching out to this community or becoming more and more involved, it doesn't matter what this community is. It's a traditional sort of feeling for you. By becoming more involved with this, you're going to feel better about your self-esteem. You're going to respect yourself a hell of a lot more. And you're going to just let this sort of feeling of like fumble, like recovering a fumble, you're going to let that feeling go. Some of you could just, it could be as simple as saying, hey, you guys, the divorce is final. That's the other thing I see. The divorce becomes final. It was fair. You're done. You're divorcing a water sign or an earth sign. I think that you are going to lose a little bit of money for those of you going through something. This is going to happen in June. Yeah. By you going back into a community or something that you once knew, you're going to feel fulfilled again. You're going to be happy again. And, excuse me, this is all a very good thing. I think that, between now and June, all the negative readings that you guys might have seen, or from me at least, because apparently I'm the only one who tells negative readings to Gemini, all the negative feelings you're experiencing will be done in June. June is your birthday month. Our birthday season. In the near future, we've got you deciding not to play the fool for anybody again. You deciding that you can't do it all anymore. And you're definitely not going to even bother trying to be everything to everyone anymore. And you're going to stop doing that. And you're going to decide to let something go. It's not as if you're making a harsh decision or being, not cool about it. You're going to be very thoughtful about it and say, look, I'm happy now. I found my 10 of Cups. I feel good. I've been exercising. I've been going out. I've been knitting. I've been, volunteering again. I have a part-time job again. I'm recovering from this loss that I experienced and this rough situation that I went through. I'm recovering, and that feels amazing. So what I'm not going to do is play the fool anymore. And I'm not going to, try to juggle and do everything and just pretend everything's okay. I want to respectfully decline these offers and choose one thing that's right for me. Yep. And then you got the King of Swords, which is you. Once you do that, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your clarity, your ability to make sound decisions and to see things clearly and speak honestly. You recover from this situation that some of you have been going through. You are finally going to be at peace the moment you do you to the absolute fullest. And like I said, I don't know if you're single or not. I feel like I did see a divorce for a lot of you, but regardless of that, or a breakup, but regardless of any of that, there's so many shifts. These shifts are either in work or relationships. And so the point is that sometimes it can be so overwhelming that you absolutely forget what makes you happy. And at some point, you're going to go back. And I think that if there is a water sign in your life, it doesn't have to be a romantic situation. This person is going to help try to guide you back into listening to your subconscious mind, guide you back into listening to your intuition and understanding, look, what you feel is what you feel. That's your truth and that's right. So do it, go for it, feel it. And so you're going to be yourself again by the end of June. Yeah, not only that. So, okay, now if you're single and looking, there is another, let's do that. If you're single and looking, there is another air sign coming for you, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This is by the end of June. Otherwise, it's going to be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Both are very, very fantastic options. Like, this is great. They're not knights. They're not pages. These are full grown adults. These are people who are like, look, I'm ready. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I've already worked on my past traumas. I'm emotionally sound. I'm healthy. I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. What's up? And that's the energy that you will actually, did I just break my microphone? That's the energy that you're actually going to experience in the end of June, by the end of June. And again, you're not going to even meet these dudes or these women. It doesn't matter. You're not going to meet these individuals until you check in with yourself and start doing what makes you happy. You like baking? Go to a baking class. You like, writing? Go to a writing workshop. There's tons of stuff that you can do that makes you happy. Go do it, because that's how these guys are going to come through. That's how these people are going to come through. I promise. Okay? The Emperor finally, and then Three of Cups in reverse, and the 3. So you got 3. Okay, so there's going to be a hiccup. I think that at some point, somebody is going to, one of these guys, between guys or girls, between these two options here, okay, you're going to be like, whoa, they're both great. Between these two, one of them is going to show their ass, and that's not nice. They're going to try it. They're going to try some old stuff with you, that stuff that you recognize, and you need to be ready for that. They're going to be like, don't wear that. Don't do this. How about this? Do blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be like, no, you got to go. You got to go. That's not me anymore. I was perfectly happy being single, so don't do it. And so that's what you're going to be experiencing. Eventually, it's going to show up sometime in the very, very end of June. And then there's going to be, and I do see the 3 of Cups underneath it, so it will be a reunion with an ex. So after you meet two very viable options that you're stoked on, somebody is going to come back from the past, it looks like, and they're going to try it with you. And you're going to say, you know what, though? Finally, at the end of all this, you've got 3 of Wands, and that means expansion, growth, travel. Now, sometimes this card, people say, oh, travel, you're going to go travel overseas. I mean, fucking show of hands. Like, who's going overseas, really? Like, I mean, I don't know. Geminis are pretty intrepid individuals, but if you're not going to, like, Morocco in 2 weeks, then you're not going overseas, okay? This also can mean travel of spirit, travel of soul, on a sojourn, if you will. And so you could possibly be on this intellectual, spiritual journey, and you're like, look, I like you and I like you, but I like me more. And what I want to do is spend some time getting to know myself again, traveling, if I have the money, if I can, because some of you guys lost your jobs. I want to just be alone, and I want to expand my mind, expand my horizons, and do what I want to do, what's best for me. But if one of these people, work out, then yeah, you might be going on a trip with somebody. In any case, you guys, what I'm seeing for you is you recovering from a loss, a financial loss, an emotional loss. You recovering, and when I say emotional loss, I mean recovering from a loss of self. Recovering from a time where you fucking lost yourself and you needed time. And, people don't give people enough credit to just say, look, I don't even want to listen to music right now. What I want to do is sit down and think. That's what I want to do. And so you are allowed that. You deserve that. And so you're taking that back. You're recovering from loss of self, loss of finances, and you're ready to, by the end of June, fully recover and expand in a big way. You've got a long-term vision. You've got a plan for the future. You either want to be with someone that you meet sometime in the 3rd week of June. You either want to get back with this Emperor person from this. I think some of you guys were dealing with an Aries. You know, you either want to get back with this Aries who's trying to show their ass again. You either want to be single. It's what you want to do. But these are the options that are coming through for you. And I think, you know, the overall energy feeling for this whole thing is complete recovery. A lot at the beginning of, you know, right now you're going through it. In May, you're going through it. I think you were going through it for a little bit there because you guys really came through for me on these videos. And so some of you guys are going through it right now. And I am telling you right now, whatever makes you happy, you got to fucking drop everything and go do that. That is going to absolutely attract into your world a feeling of emotional happiness that not someone else is doing for you. You're doing it for yourself. You deciding, I'm going to let things go that I just don't want to deal with anymore. And the possibility, a great big possibility of 3 very distinct individuals hopping into your life like, oh, hi, how are you? Let's talk. And then you can do what you will with those energies or those individuals. But for now, I feel like, yeah, I think that by the end of June, there's going to be a feeling of absolute expansion and growth, and your strategy is working, and you're going back to self, and you're ready to journey again back to yourself. Or just hop on a plane and go somewhere. You know, that's the most basic answer. Anyways, this is 30 minutes. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. 30 minutes is too long. Gemini, I hope this was helpful for you at all. I know I was all over the place. That's not my fault. It's the card's fault. And then it's not even the card's fault. It's your fault. So, just kidding. So please subscribe to this channel. I hope this was helpful. If you have a question, let me know in the comments. If you want to tell me that this was super inaccurate and you hate me, you can do that too. I'm just going to delete it because I want everyone to know how accurate I am. Just kidding. You can do whatever you want. It's your world. But just remember, karma's going to come get you if you're mean to people. So you're doing great. Keep on trucking. You're doing a great job, Gemini. I think that give yourself a couple more weeks of this rough energy here, and you're going to make it through. Surround yourself with water signs who want to listen to you and have the patience to be there for you right now because you need that. Get back to yourself. You got 3 people coming through, possible reunion with an ex for the most part, and definitely travel either spiritually or physically. Thanks so much, Gemini.